Hey guys, gizmoddict here, and let's talk about the Xiaomi Mi 10. It's become one of the hottest topics of discussion since yesterday. Well, it's not as hot as Carrie Minati's TikTok roast, but still, a lot of people are mad at Xiaomi, and I just want to tell my opinions in this video. Also, do note that this is the Mi Note 10, looks very similar to the Mi 10, and I think Xiaomi should have launched this phone instead of the Mi 10, but we'll get to that later. First, let's talk about the Mi 10's pricing, and as you all know, it starts at 50,000 rupees in India and no one's happy with it. Almost everyone on Twitter is mad with the pricing, and honestly, if you ask my opinion, I feel this phone is kind of overpriced. But there is a logical explanation to that too. So if you see, Xiaomi makes all of their phones in India, and because of that they don't need to have any import duties or anything. But with the Mi 10, they're actually importing this phone, so they're not making it in India, and because of that, apart from your GST and all of those taxes that you have locally, they also have to pay import duty, which is quite high on smartphones. And that is exactly why, even though this phone is 43,000 rupees in China, it's 50,000 rupees in India. So if they would have made this phone in India itself, it would have been less than 45k, but clearly that's not the approach that Xiaomi has chosen. And that is exactly why I think Xiaomi is not very serious about the Mi 10 in India. By not being serious, I don't mean that they don't care about the sales and service of the phone. What I mean is that they are not targeting the numbers that they target with their mid-range phones or their budget phones or something like that. I'm very sure they've imported a couple of thousand units and they have a certain expectation, and they just want to see if they can hit that expectation, they can have higher demand than their expectations or whatnot. Because if you see historically, Xiaomi's expensive phones have never worked in India. If we talk about the Mi 5, I think, and even if we talk about the Mi Mix series, none of them have really worked in India. So Xiaomi, I think, with the Mi 10 is just trying to, see if they have a demand in this price segment or not, and if the demands exceed their expectation, maybe the next generation of the Mi 10, Mi 11, whatever Xiaomi calls it, might be actually made in India for a lower pricing. I think deep down even Xiaomi knows that this phone is slightly higher priced than it should be. And to be honest, this is Xiaomi's first entry into the flagship segment. So according to me, if they would have taken that hit, if they would have reduced their profits and tried to sell this phone at a lower price, they would have had a much better initial response. The thing is, if you study OnePlus, even OnePlus started with making phones in the 20,000 rupees price bracket, but they gradually went up the price bracket. They started at 22,000, then they went to 25, then it was 30, 35, 40, 45, and eventually right now they've settled at 55,000 rupees. And over this time, especially after the OnePlus 3 and all of those devices, OnePlus has really gained users' confidence, and that is what you need when you're selling a phone for 40 to 50,000 rupees. Because of OnePlus's really good quality phones, their track record with software updates, their in general service and support, people have now started trusting OnePlus, and they don't mind spending that 50,000 rupees on a OnePlus phone. But the same is not true with Xiaomi. Xiaomi still has to make their name in this premium price segment, and by directly jumping with a phone at 50,000 rupees, I don't think they'll be able to do that easily. The major problem with Xiaomi is that they're going for a bottom to top approach in comparison to other brands like OnePlus, which are doing a top to bottom approach. So OnePlus basically is only making flagships, and now if OnePlus drops a mid-range phone, everyone is gonna associate that mid-range phones with OnePlus's flagship quality, their software, their update history and all of that. And even if OnePlus's mid-range phone is overpriced by 2-3,000 rupees, people will pay their premium because OnePlus has that trust. For Xiaomi, it's gonna work in the reverse way. Xiaomi has made so many budget phones, and recently with MIUI, ads, the browser thing, Xiaomi has gotten a lot of flack and negative perception of their mid-range phones. And the same is gonna fire back with the Mi 10. Everyone's gonna associate Mi 10 with the Redmi phones, and people are gonna think that even this phone is gonna have ads, this phone will also have that intrusive browser and so on. Whereas in reality, the Mi 10 is not gonna have ads, it's not gonna have, I think, those intrusive Xiaomi apps. But even then, people will associate it because that's what Xiaomi has been known for lately. So what Xiaomi has done with MIUI, with their ads and all of those things, I had said it before that Xiaomi will have to pay the price for it, and I think now they will be paying the price for it. Because when you sell a phone for 50,000 rupees, you need people's trust, you need that brand image, you need that brand value, which as of now Xiaomi lacks. So as a consumer, if you ask me if I would buy the Mi 10, Probably not. Even if the cameras are better than the OnePlus 8 Pro, I will put that extra 5000 rupees and get the OnePlus 8 Pro, because I've had a good experience with OnePlus phones in the past. They have made that name in that price segment, and Xiaomi still has got a lot to prove with the Mi 10. Maybe if they do a good job with Mi 10, people will slowly gain their trust. So when they come out with the future versions of it, more and more people will buy it. But as of now, I don't see this phone to be a blockbuster when it comes to sales. So as a consumer, if you ask me, should you buy the Xiaomi Mi 10? The answer is probably gonna be no. But as a reviewer, I think you have to give that phone a fair chance, because that's your job as a reviewer. You have to be unbiased and you have to use the phone thoroughly to give your opinions about it. And that's what I'm gonna do with the Mi 10. I'm gonna pre-order this phone. I'm also gonna try in the meantime if I can get a review on it of the Mi 10 and see what happens. But the Mi 10 videos will be coming to the channel as and when I get the phone. So yes, while I do feel that the Xiaomi Mi 10 is slightly overpriced, the best pricing should have been 45,000 rupees. But I'm not gonna discard it just as of now. I'm still really excited to see how the cameras are and how Xiaomi handles the software. These two are going to be the major deciding factors when it comes to the Xiaomi Mi 10, because apart from that, this phone has amazing hardware. You've got Snapdragon 865. This phone supports 5G. There is 8 GB of RAM. The display seems really good. You also have a really good cooling system. The battery is damn big. This phone has wireless charging support. So all of those things are there on this phone. Now we just have to see how the cameras perform and how's the software. And I don't get it, what's the scene with the cameras on the Xiaomi Mi 10? Because if you compare the Mi 10 to my Mi Note 10, this phone is approximately around 30,000 rupees in China. And the Mi Note 10 has a better camera setup. It has two telephoto lenses, the wide angle lens has a higher resolution. And in comparison to that, the Mi 10 does not even get a telephoto lens. So I don't know what the product department at Xiaomi was smoking, because their cheaper phone has a much better camera setup than their flagship phone. And talking about the Mi Note 10, I think it would have been a really smart move to launch this phone instead of the Mi 10. Because Xiaomi could have, marketed it in a very nice way. If they would have launched the Mi Note 10 around the 30,000 rupees price bracket, it would have been really cool, because this phone has a really nice curved AMOLED display. It has more than 5000 mAh of battery. It has 108 megapixel of primary camera, same as the Mi 10, and the other cameras are same as the Mi 10 Pro. Imagine if they could have gotten the 108 megapixel camera for 30,000 rupees, that would have really gotten them a lot of good press. And 30,000 rupees is kind of a sweet spot for Xiaomi. People would have spent that money on the Mi Note 10. But sadly, they decided to get the Mi 10, and that's how it is. I think they could have planned this whole thing a little bit better, but let's see how it goes. Let's see how the response is, how many people buy the Mi 10, and I'll let you guys know my review once I get the phone. Apart from the Mi 10, actually the more interesting products that Xiaomi announced was the wireless charger. The pricing on that is really good. And you also have the Mi Truly Wireless earphones. I'm really eager to check this out as well, because the Realme Buds Air are performing very well, and I want to compare it with those and see which one's better. And lastly, we've got the Mi Box 4K, which is a sure shot winner, because I have the Fire Stick HD, I have the Fire Stick 4K, and I can tell you that Mi Box 4K in India seems to be a much better mouth-watering deal. So I'll cover all of these products very soon on my channel. So if you're not subscribed, please hit the subscribe button. Please press the bell icon. And also let me know your opinions about Mi 10 in the comments. Would you consider buying it if you had that budget, or would you just stick to the OnePlus 8 Pro? Please let me know your thoughts in the comments. As of now, this is what I had to say about the Xiaomi Mi 10. If you guys agree with me, then please hit the like button. If you guys disagree, hit the dislike button twice. And please stay home and stay safe. That's it for now. Thanks for watching, and I will be back in the notifications very, very soon. Peace.